What is acrylic gouache or acrylic gouache? You may have heard about it. It's very trendy, but what is it exactly? Let's compare acrylic gouache and traditional gouache, and I will give you my conclusion at the end of the video. Hello, bonjour, I'm Cécile, and my mission is to help you becoming a better gouache painter. Today, acrylic gouache versus traditional gouache. Let's begin with the acrylic gouache painting. I'm using a sheet of baking paper that I have taped on my table because I want to be able to throw it away after. And I'm making a mix of white and a tiny hint of blue. And of course, I always miss some white, so I have to squeeze more. And you always want to add the dark color inside the light color. It's easier if you want to be able to control the amount of pigments you have in your mix. I paint kind of a rectangular shape with rough edges. That will be my background. And without waiting, I can paint directly on it with my green paint to make some leaves shapes, because this is drying really fast, and especially because my layer is not really thick. So you can just go ahead and paint your leaves directly on the background. I'm using Liquitex acrylic gouache. It comes in a little bottle with a very small tip. And I have to press hard because sometimes the paint can dry inside, and actually I should have used a needle to open it, because now I'm squeezing and in the end all I will get is a huge blob of paint that I will waste because I don't need all of this. So take my advice, don't get this kind of bottle because you will get everywhere, including your hands. I will mix 3 different shades of pink, a light, a medium and a dark one, and as usual you want to make the dark color inside the light one, just to prepare some different shades for my petals. I'm placing some random brush strokes to mimic the shape of a rose. It's more an exercise than a botanical accurate flower. I want to switch to a darker shade of pink, and instead of washing my brush that will get it full of water, I'm just cleaning it on a cloth, and then I can directly pick up the color. It's a good way because acrylic doesn't really need water. I keep adding some petals here and there with more and more dark color until I get kind of a rose shape. Well, do as you wish because it's really more to feel the paint than to paint something. Actually, I covered almost all my leaves with my petals. I can add more and getting outside of my blue background because it's really cool when you have something overlapping from the background. I like it. I'm trying to balance where I place my leaves so I don't have something too symmetrical. I've been painting my leaf much too soon after I painted my red petal, and the paint is really not dry enough, so I've left a bit of the red, but I can cover it with more green paint and boom, no more mistake. Hey, you still there? Congratulations! Now it's time to book this like button. It really helps the video to spread. Merci. Let's paint the same thing with traditional gouache. This time I'm using a plastic palette because I know it will be easy to clean under tap water with maybe a bit of sponge and soap. I'm trying to use exactly the same color that I had with the acrylic gouache, so it's easy to compare both. I paint another rectangle with a light blue and tap with my finger, so I'm sure it's dry. This is a really huge difference with acrylic gouache, is that you have to make sure that your first layer is completely dry before applying a second layer on top of it, and you don't want to rub. You just want to apply your second layer with a single brush stroke. The more you will rub, the more you will lift up the color below. Now I'm trying to make the same flower than on the left or on the top, but the 4 of them are all different, and that's cool because we are artists, we are not photocopy machine, and we are not supposed to make exactly the same thing all the time, or it's too boring. Don't know for you, but I like to try new things all the time. And my green maybe is not dry enough, but I'm okay with it, and I'm lifting a bit of the green with my petal flowers. That's fine. If you notice, there is a big difference between the blue on the left and the blue on the right. And both are supposed to be made with primary blue. And what's funny is that in the acrylic gouache, it's titanium white, which is supposed to be very, very strong, very vibrant. And in the gouache, traditional gouache, this is a permanent white. So my guess is maybe the blue is not exactly the same, but actually the gouache one seems really bright. And that's about the same with the pinks. I think the pinks on the right are much more vibrant, much more, nice, so to speak. Green seems to be okay. And maybe it's due to the brand or the color that I have, but actually I really prefer the traditional gouache colors. Can you mix acrylic gouache with traditional gouache? Here I'm picking up a bit of yellow traditional with the red with the acrylic. And of course it works because both are water-based paints, but the acrylic has a polymer base, and I would not risk my complete painting by mixing the two because I'm not sure it will be too durable, and maybe you will have unexpected reactions and you don't want to try that. And what about the matte finish? Because this is the whole point of acrylic gouache, is to be acrylic with a matte finish. Let me show you. This one is made with traditional acrylic. And can you see any shine on it? I can't. And this one is made with traditional acrylic with a heavier, thicker paint. And yes, here there is a bit of shine, but really it's most in the heavier parts, and if I'm really bothered by the shine of it, I can still apply a matte varnish and get an acrylic with a matte finish. In my opinion, acrylic gouache is just a marketing thing. So my conclusion is, you don't need to buy acrylic gouache. Sorry if you just bought some. It's regular acrylic, but with a matte finish. And as I just showed you, really, the shine of acrylic is not what it used to be years ago. Now the shine is really light, and if you are really bothered by it, as I said, you can add a matte varnish on top of it. So acrylic gouache is more expensive than traditional acrylic. And maybe it's worth comparing the price of traditional acrylic plus a matte varnish versus acrylic gouache. Plus, you will get larger bottles and you won't be too shy to use it because it's an inexpensive paint. My love goes for gouache, as you all know, and really, at the end, I don't see the point. Yes, I admit, except for layering. Layering is maybe one of the trickiest things you can do with gouache. And let me know in comments if you want me to make a video about layering gouache. That would be interesting. You have some tips and tricks to know to do it successfully. So I would not buy acrylic gouache. I would just buy regular acrylic. If you are buying acrylic gouache, don't buy this brand. I have nothing against the brand. It's just the way it's packaged, because it's very difficult to squeeze a small amount of paint, and once it's outside of the bottle, you have to use it or lose it.